Hey you, so on this video, how many ounces of gold and silver did you buy in 2019? Plus my strategy for 2020. I'm going to be speaking about just that. So before we jump into this, I'd love to say if you haven't done so already and you like what you hear /see, please do go ahead and subscribe. So for all celebrating the festive seasons, I'd like to say Merry Christmas and wishing you all a happy and prosperous new year to all watchers, viewers, and family and friends. So yeah, it's been a little while since the last one. I did mention I had a few situations happening in the background, but we've all got through. It's been intense, but shout out to all those inquiring still. But the video's here, want to try and get a few more out before the end of the year. But I just wanted to do this wrap up, and see what everybody else has done for 2019 and how well has it gone. Did it go as planned? Has your has your stacking game plan changed in 2019? Mine somewhat has, as we're jumping into answering the question. I'd say, how much did I intend to buy in 2019? I think coming into 2019, it was an interesting time. And I think 2019 has been a very, very interesting time for a lot of things that I'm involved in, from crypto to physical. I expected to see a bit more action in terms of even the whole Brexit situation, what was going to happen there. Did not expect an election, got one, haven't seen too much. The pound did strengthen up a little, then it did dip a little. Once again, I see a lot of seesawing, nothing major in any way up or any way down. Didn't expect the little spike that we did get a few months back now, time releasing this video. So I definitely took advantage of that. But coming in, I expected to see a bit more action because I believe 2019 is a crucial year. But it's been rather, here and there. So for me, what I have on display here in the background was, I would say off the top of my head, I believe I purchased somewhere around 150 governmented rounds, so coins, so I say. So a lot of these, I've done videos of most of the pickups of what you was looking at. I believe this was a purchase off of a friend who wanted to liquidate. There was a few people, a lot of in-house purchases, so it worked out fantastic for myself. So it was a load of these. I think I had like 4 tubes. I believe I had the Royal Mint Lunar Monkeys also that I purchased. Those were great purchases, once again in-house, a down near spot at the time. And after that, it was more high premium. But even with the high premium, I'll get onto in a moment. But then with gold also in the beginning of the year, I purchased around 8 ounces of gold. So there was more gold purchases, but they came more from high premium in the beginning of the year. So, if you guys can remember, we had the 50 years of the 50p's. I think that was one of the first big purchases I'd done in the beginning of 2019. Picked up a few of those sets, so I was lucky enough to get my hands on a few. Those were very profitable. Those were picked up with intentions of flipping, and they flipped well. And I think even still, anything with the Kew Gardens gold, definitely a coin worth grading because it sells for very high premiums, even in the raw form. So that set done what they were supposed to do. Then we had the Hawkins. I believe I had a couple of those in gold, and also the gold Gruffler. And I know there was more, but this is when the Royal Mint was still great. Made the Royal Mint great again early in the year. So the prices on the gold, I believe even around a half ounce 50p's, was around 795. That's in pound sterling. So you're getting it under £800. A lot's changed since then. We've had the increase in spot price, and spot price dipped back down. But the mint has really let themselves go. I've had a lot of people telling me various reasons why, and I could believe them. Ultimately, it all boils down to new people in charge that literally don't give a beep. And you can see that in the quality, especially when you're looking at certain coins that they're releasing. I'd understand if there was in the thousands. So, for instance, 20,000, 50,000 or something like that. And then we was having the quality control issues, but they have coins with a mintage of 400, 300. And I mean, the Royal Mint's a massive establishment. And if you state that you have quality control, but, in the hundreds, I mean, I could damn near get through that, give me enough hours in the day. And the quality of sending some of the coins out is absolutely shocking. I totally believe when people say, there's new people around and it's all about profit and couldn't give a damn about quality. So it's definitely gone downhill, but it was good for me at the beginning of the year. But then from there, I believe a lot more was, I'd done a few silver purchases also with the Royal Mint, with intentions of flipping. Some done better than others, but some I'm not really too fussed about holding on to, so that worked out all right. And so ultimately what I ended up with as it's a roundup is what you're seeing here. So a lot of the coins came back. I never owned one of these Griffins, so that came in-house. If you saw the video I done some time ago, I believe it was with the Swans or something else, I purchased a 2-ounce Dragon that you're seeing here and also the 2-ounce Tiger. And those were flipped onto a friend, and in-house trading came back. So this is more of a bullion piece here, so not an issue there. Then there was more of a, you could call it a luxury purchase for myself. Just completing these sets that I was after. Nothing too intensive, just borderline my level. You mentioned before, I was doing the special year sovereigns. Didn't want to go too in depth. For me, this was as old as I wanted to get. I liked the special dates. So we had the 1989, what I'm showing here. We had the 2002, 2005, 2012, and the 2017. I now have them all complete. For me, I've mentioned many times before, we get some noise in the background. This was as far as I wanted to go when it was talking dates and ages and stuff like that. So we take a look at that. Absolute fantastic condition. All of them, I've been very fortunate. This is damn near a 30-year-old set. One of the ones that pop up a lot more, and that's going to be the ones in these cases. I've got the others out back here too also, and that's purely because I believe they had a much higher mintage. The ones that are more problematic and even more profitable now would be the 2012, when you're talking the 5 coin, and the 2017, which are both appreciating fantastically. But I always did like this design a lot more. It's one of my most favorite. So I think it'll be interesting they pull this coin back. I know the Royal Mint at the moment are doing a lot of throwback when they're talking about the older designs, but conditions absolutely immaculate. I think the biggest opportunities come when you grade these, but then you can't be a little too greedy. But the 5 sov I know goes for insane money. But this is more of a something a bit more personal, as mentioned. When it comes to the high premium, that's going to be sticking with me for the long term, and because of where I'm located and based, a lot of the UK dealers wouldn't have any issues purchasing this off me if they do purchase high premium, and it's one of the more desirable sets when we're talking sovereigns and special dates. So that was one that rounded up the year for me. So just showing the ones that I ultimately purchased with the profits made off of the sets that I was just mentioning in the beginning. So I ended up, I'd say beginning, I purchased around 8 ounces of gold, and I've ended up, I believe I had a line as well with what you're looking at the end of the year. So I've got some standard bullion, although I know the coins sell for a premium. Regardless, they was picked up for bullion prices. So you're looking at about 3, 4, and I believe the set's just under 2 ounces. So give or take 5 ounces. So there was a lot of profit made off of the Kew Garden sets, the Hawkins, a fairly decent profit. Then it started to go downhill from there when we was talking to Gruffalo. Made absolutely minimal profit. They barely broke even. And then there was another coin that was flipped, but I cannot remember off the top of my head. But, I think it was a good year. Most definitely a good year, even with the silver. Well purchased, governmented for myself, and then from there has been a lot of waiting around and speculating on my end as to what's going to happen and what it's going to be from there. But it's been very interesting, as mentioned. What will be my approach for 2020? Well, first off, I will say I still think it's a fantastic time to be purchasing if you're just getting into stacking. I think prices are not insane. I think they're perfect, I would say, for anybody getting in right now. They could go down depending on what your approach and belief is right now. Many think once we've push Brexit through. It could have that domino effect. But I think we've been here before. Rate hikes. What's 2020 hold? What's a Conservative government hold for the UK? For me, though, I would say with what I have, not to forget I have a very large position and stakeholder already, it's going to be a lot more sitting down and waiting for bigger opportunities. I purchased the silver because it was a no-brainer. It was at arm's reach. It was at spot price. Would I have purchased? Well, I haven't purchased the beginning of the year. I knew it was going to be that situation. For me now, I think a lot of the collector coins have lost a lot of their luster. I think a lot of people ended up in that position, because at one point you could see these coins, you could see channels like myself picking up some of these coins and flipping them, and it was working fantastic. Of course, you have your standouts, your coins that do fantastically. I would even say the current Una and the Lion from the Royal Mint was one of them in gold. Then you had the reverse proof with the American Mint, the US Mint, and we've seen what that can do. But I think these are these 1 in a million opportunities, and I think they're very, very, very rare. And you can always tell when it's going to be a blockbuster. And a lot of people was on the fence with the Una and the Lion. I knew it was going to be massive, especially when you're spending so much on a 2-ounce coin. But whenever you could sell for any what of a profit, and I've seen some insane prices people are putting out there on the secondary market, then that's where you want to be. I think the Royal Mint have gone back to their basics there, and I think that it's a good path to begin with a lot of the gimmicky, comicky, licensed stuff, depending on who you ask, they've had out. I think that's where they want to be going, and it's going to be very interesting watching this series that they're going to be putting out. But I like where they are. I like where they're going, referring to the Royal Mint here. I just hope they can keep the quality up. But outside of that, it's been flat with collector coins. It was more at once upon a time, this coin's coming out, what do you think is going to happen? Name a few off the top of my head. Well, I can't even remember. There's been so many, but at the end of the day, there was a lot of disgruntled individuals, whether the Mint decided to bring out a 10-ounce version or, they just didn't stop there. And I think the Mints are struggling more than ever, most definitely, especially when we're talking collector coins. Not a lot of people need them. If somebody's just getting into the game, the last thing they're worrying about, it used to be a question I got a lot, like, what's the best collector coin to be getting into or to be picking up? But it's not the case no more. Nowadays, it'll just be inquiries as to what silver coin's better, what gold coin's better, even more of a ratio question, whereas before it was a lot more collector coin related. So I know they're hurting. I know they're doing a lot more. We've already seen mints and producers take the approach of reducing the prices on coins that some would say dealers took advantage of. But I would definitely say there's no interest of what's coming out for the foreseeable future. I think that collector coin market is flat/dead, but then a lot of people stepping out could mean opportunities for a lot of people, seeing that there's not many people there. Is that a profitable approach? Who knows? Once upon a time you could have said, hey, if no one's picking it up, it's going to have a tiny mintage, or there'll be not so many about. But I just don't think there's a secondary market for that no more. Everybody seems to have gone back to basics, i.e. weight. So if you're a generic individual, then it's just generic weight. If you're a government type of person, then it's just weight. The basics, that's where you want to be. And that's where I'll be next year for myself, but I'm going to want to see something drastic in terms of a dip. I did take advantage of the spike we had this year. Should I have taken a bit more advantage? Yes, the funds are still available. I did put more into BTC recently and could say I've been day trading, scooping out £100 here and there, but still waiting for more of a dip on the lower side. And then from there, I'm going to be looking at more of the Sun Mill. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But once again, I think it's fantastic buying opportunities for anybody getting in. The prices are not insane. I can't see them dropping down to the single digits. No chance. So it's a great time if you're getting in. I don't believe the prices are high. I think they're just right. If you're a long-term veteran and it's a lifestyle forever, and then a lot of people have been picking their punches. For me, collector coins are definitely at the back of the queue for now. But I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. How many ounces of gold and silver did you pick up in 2019? Did you get what you wanted or had intended to get? Did you get a lot less? due to funds, or did you get a lot more? Which one did you favor? Do you still think, big, massive things are ahead for silver? We didn't get the explosion as many prophesized, but who knows? There's a lot more to come. It's definitely going to happen, so I'm still heavily invested. Or did you not get as much gold as you wanted? Please do let me know down below in the comments. So once again, guys, I'm going to try and get a few out this week or even over the weekend, but I hope you're having a very festive, happy holiday season at the moment. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Please do go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll catch you guys on the rebound.